Hi, Sweaty Jen, back again. It's been a while since I've made a video, and today I'm very excited about what we're talking about. I am going to be sharing my thoughts on the Dermadry Total device that I've been using for over a month now. This video is in collaboration with Dermadry. I was extremely excited when they reached out to me to see if I wanted to try the Dermadry Iontophoresis machine. Iontophoresis has been high on the top of my list of treatments that I've been wanting to try, so I was thrilled, and I've had a great experience with Dermadry not only as a company but also with the Iontophoresis device. Please watch this video to hear more about my thoughts and how I've noticed Iontophoresis works with me and my hyperhidrosis. If you have been part of my sweaty family on here for a while, you know that I've struggled with hyperhidrosis since I was a small child. When I was very young, it was mostly my hands and my feet that would drip with sweat. As I grew up and got to puberty, my armpits and even my groin also began to be affected by hyperhidrosis. So thankfully with treatments, and I also take oral medicine called glycopyrrolate, I have been able to manage my sweat. However, with the inclusion of the Dermadry device, my management of my sweat has improved so much more, and I'll talk more about that now. I want to talk a bit about what iontophoresis is. So from Dermadry's website, Dermadry is an FDA-cleared home-use tap water iontophoresis machine. This technology works by directing a mild current through the skin, effectively neutralizing the connection between the nerves and the sweat glands. In nearly all cases, this effectively treats excessive sweating. So I, of course, wanted to know, will this machine work for me? If you're anything like me and you've tried different topical treatments and different home remedies and managing your anxiety, and all of these things sometimes don't seem to do enough, then I definitely think you'll be interested to hear how my experience has been going with iontophoresis. So I have been using Dermadry's machine on my feet only right now. I really wanted to get comfortable with how the machine worked and how to use it before moving on to more areas of my body. But I will be beginning using it on my hands and my underarms in the very near future. So please subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you're interested in seeing future videos about my thoughts further down the line. So if you're here to know, does Dermadry Total work? Yes, it does work. It is another useful tool that works for managing my hyperhidrosis, and I'm so very happy to have this machine. I feel like it's another useful tool that I can have in my hyperhidrosis toolbox to help me manage living with this condition and not let it interfere so much with my day-to-day life. I'll insert a photo that I posted on my Instagram a while ago. This picture is such definitive proof that iontophoresis is working on my feet. As you can see, the soles of my feet are completely dry. They're not sweating at all, but the arches and the sides of my feet are still sweating. The reason my arches weren't reduced in sweating yet is because the water just simply wasn't high enough to reach them. I have abnormally high arches. Because of this, I contacted Dermadry to see if they had any suggestions for me on how I could achieve better results. They had a couple of suggestions, one of which was adding more water to the trays. I went up to 750 milliliters of water so that the water level was a bit higher to submerge my arches even more. I did an entire unboxing video as well if you want to see everything that comes with the machine laid out. I will link that video in the description box below. I have noticed my sweating has decreased even more since that photo was taken. I just haven't been able to get as clear of a photo as that day. The other suggestion that Dermadry had for me to help cover more areas of my feet with the current from the iontophoresis was to wear a pair of 100% cotton socks. I have not tried using the machine with socks yet. However, I know some people who have, and they have very good results by using socks. They recommend if you use socks, don't put the towel down on top of this metal plate before doing iontophoresis. You just need the sock on and you put it directly onto the metal plate. So I'm going to give this more time using an increased amount of water, but if I still notice that doesn't seem to be doing enough, I'll definitely try the socks in the future, and I'll of course let you know if I do. Since I've only been using the Dermadry machine on my feet, I can safely say that my feet are way less sweaty than my hands and my armpits. I would say they are at least 70% less sweaty than my hands and my armpits during an extreme sweating episode, which is a lot. And no, it's not 100% perfect, 100% sweat-free, but I promise even managing the amount that you sweat to some degree, to some percentage, it helps bring so much relief mentally. One of the biggest differences I've noticed on my feet are that my socks don't need to be changed as often as before. Previously, even while taking glycopyrrolate, the medicine for hyperhidrosis, I would have to change my socks pretty frequently depending on if I was just sweating a lot that day or depending if the medicine wasn't working well that day. But now, thanks to Dermadry, I go through so many less pairs of socks. My feet are just that much drier throughout the day. Additionally, if you've been following me on my Instagram, @JenSweaty, you'll know that I've been attending a lot of physical therapy because of an injury that I have to my foot. I have to also add that because of the Dermadry machine, I have so much more confidence going into these physical therapy appointments, knowing that when my therapist is working on my feet, they're not going to be dripping with sweat like they used to. So thank you, Dermadry. Another huge perk is that the machine is so easy to use, set up, clean up, everything. It's very quick to get everything set up, do your treatments, and get everything put away so that it's not cluttering up your living space. And that's really important for me. And so I appreciate that the design they have, everything fits into one nice compact box and it can safely be stored out of the way. I'll show you. See, everything fits. And again, if you're curious about everything that comes in the Dermadry machine's case, please watch the previous unboxing video. I also love that it's so small and portable because it gives me the comfort of knowing that if I am going on vacation or staying over at somebody's house, even, it's small enough to just pack with me and go. I don't have to worry about it being too big where I have to be without it at any given time if I need to bring it with me. There are a few things I wanted to touch on in regards to the iontophoresis machine. First, if you're thinking about beginning iontophoresis, I strongly urge you to read the instruction guide for your machine prior to using it. It's very important to make sure you're completely aware of all of the warnings and cautions that you should be taking before using it so you can be sure you're safe and giving the machine its best chance of working. One very special touch I kind of noticed is that the instruction guide that Dermadry provides is kind of in a waterproof material, which is perfect for those of us with sweaty hands, but it's also nice because I can keep it in the case and around everything, and I know it won't get ruined if there's some water or anything like that. And I'm very happy that I read it and I'm aware of all of these different details that I need to be aware of before using it. Another point I wanted to make in this video is that Something I wasn't aware that would happen when I began using the iontophoresis machine is that it does take some time to get used to the sensation of how iontophoresis feels. I was really scared my first time doing it because we always learn growing up electricity and water are not supposed to mix. So I was really nervous, but it all went so smoothly. And honestly, it doesn't hurt at all. It shouldn't hurt. The most feeling I get is a kind of tingling or stinging, itching sensation. It's not really painful though. So when that sensation becomes a little bit too strong to be comfortable just sitting there, definitely lower the level on their controller. When you first begin using it, it does take some time to get used to that kind of itching or tingling sensation and get used to what level you can tolerate. When I first began, I felt like something was possibly wrong with me because I couldn't tolerate the higher levels that the instruction guide was recommending. But please don't be alarmed, because I noticed in small print that it says at first you need to set the levels on their controller lower than intended, and you should adapt the current level according to your comfort. Sensitivity to the current varies from user to user, and there's a built-in safety feature that will stop the device from delivering a current level more than 25 mA. And so that's comforting to know that it's not going to get so high to the point where like something extremely serious could happen. I like that it stops itself before that's even a possibility. So I thought it was pertinent to mention that it does take some getting used to. I had to start at a really low level and work my way up to higher levels. So it goes all the way to 25, and on my feet I'm able to tolerate about a level 5 or a 6. And the higher the level, the better results you'll see. But I think that the machine is well worth using if you suffer from hyperhidrosis. The benefits far outweigh any cons that come with using the device or the time that it takes out of the day to use it. To treat your hands and feet, it only takes 20 minutes and armpits are 15. I also found it's actually quite enjoyable to complete treatments and kind of take it as a time for yourself. Sometimes I'll listen to music, I'll watch a TV show, or play video games while I do my treatment. And it's funny because when the treatment's over, the controller doesn't beep or anything like that. So I'll just be sitting there playing video games or watching TV, and I'm like, how long has the treatment been over for? Also, what's really cool about this device is that if you start your treatment and you realize, oh, I need to go to the washroom, or oh, my cell phone's across the room, you can simply take your hands, feet, or armpits away from the current of the water, and the device will pause itself so that you can continue your treatment where you left off. And I think that's an awesome feature because I can be quite forgetful myself, so I appreciate that that's there. So now that I've gone over my thoughts about Dermadry Total, if you're interested in visiting Dermadry's website to purchase a machine and try it out for yourself to see how it affects you and improves your life, you can use the code SWEATYGEN at your checkout to receive $50 off of the Iontophoresis machine. I really appreciate Dermadry giving a code to me that I can give to you guys, because I know it's not cheap by any means. It's more affordable than some other iontophoresis machines out there, but it still costs a pretty penny. Another big thing, if you're interested in purchasing the machine, you do need a prescription written if you live in the United States. I simply contacted my dermatologist and told her that I was interested in trying it. If you need help figuring out the best way to get your prescription to them, or figuring out how to even get a prescription written to begin with, their customer support is amazing. I'm really looking forward to using Dermadry's machine on my hands and on my underarms. I can't wait to see how it continues improving my quality of life. And again, please subscribe if you're interested in hearing my thoughts about how the machine affects those parts of my body. A huge benefit to the machine for me has been that I've been able to comfortably reduce the amount of glycopyrrolate that I take on a daily basis. If you follow me on Instagram at Jen Sweaty, you'll know that I recently decreased my medicine to about half of what it was prior to on most days. So the fact that I feel confident enough that I can reduce the amount of medicine that I take for my hyperhidrosis is huge for me, and I can't express how happy it makes me, because it's not that I don't like the oral medicine, it's just that some of the side effects can be pretty burdensome at times. For me, the dry nose, the dry eyes, and the dry throat were getting to be a bit much, and now that I've reduced the amount of the medicine that I take, those side effects are so much easier to deal with. So I'm grateful to have iontophoresis in my toolbox of ways I can manage my hyperhidrosis. I'd love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos in the future. If you have experience using iontophoresis, please let us know how your experience was. I love hearing about others' experiences with different treatments because everybody is so different. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'll see you all later. Bye.